بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم نحمده ونصلي على رسوله الكريم أما بعد. So inshallah now we're moving on to the final معرفة which is مضاف إلى واحد من هذه المعارف الخمسة, which is the مضاف to one of these five. So we have again khatima. We're discussing those ahkam of isms and verbs which do not relate to amal or i'rab, and we have ahkam of ism, ahkam of the fa'il. In the ahkam of the ism, we had the muqaddimah, in which we discuss what? We discussed the masdar, we discussed the mushtaq, and we discussed the jamid. Jamid. Then we went on to ma'rifah and nakira, and that's where we currently are. Within the ma'rifah, the last type of ma'rifah. And we go on to nakira. And then these will come mudhakkar, mu'annas, number, tasghir, nisba, and adad will come up later on. Then the ahkam of the fa'il and the khatima of the thing. Regarding the ma'rifah and nakira, we went through the ma'arif, we said damir, we went through zamir marfu', zamir mansoob, zamir majroor, and in marfu' we went through zamir bariz and zamir mustatir, and we also went through the rules of doing ta'keed of the damir. Then the alam, in alam we went through, we also mentioned the laqab, we also mentioned kunya. Okay, then we have the word has alif lam in the beginning, we went through very briefly, we didn't go into a lot of detail, that will come up in more detail in the balagha and then kubra inshallah. Then asma ul ishara. When you have asma ul ishara, we have said, we mentioned we have the ha'u tanbih, and we have the lam and the kaf for bu'd. Okay, then we went through asma ul mawsula, and in there we went through the list of asma al mawsula, and then we mentioned that the sila must have a dhamir, and the sila must be a jumla or a shibhul jumla. And the mudaf ila wahid min hadhihi al-ma'arif al-khamsa is where we are currently at, and then we go to nakira inshallah. So the sixth type of ma'rifah is al-qism sadis al-mudaf, a mudaf ila wahidin min hadhihi al-ma'arif al-khamsa, to one, because this is a mudaf ilayhi ghaysari, one of these five ma'rifahs. So this is the sixth ma'rifah, and before that we have five ma'rifah. So if a word is mudaf to any of the five ma'rifah, then that word also becomes ma'rifah. For example, kitab Allahi. Kitab Allahi. So in here the word Allah, lafz jalala, is ma'rifah, and the word kitab doesn't have alif lam, doesn't have tanween, but because mudaf to an alam, so therefore we have the word kitab also becomes ma'rifah. Understood? Now we mentioned that rule, but there are exceptions to this rule. I need to understand this. So what do we say? The rule is that the mudaf kasaba yaksibu earns or takes. Yes, we can say takes. So the mudaf in the above examples, al-mudaf ila wahidin min hadhihi al-aqsam al-khamsa, yes, or hadhihi al-ma'arif al-khamsa, that a mudaf becomes ma'rifah when it is mudaf to one of the five types of ma'rifah. So if you have a mudaf word, no alif lam, no tanween, how do we know if it's ma'rifah? We know it's ma'rifah because the mudaf ilayh is ma'rifah. However, there are a few exceptions to this rule, that despite the mudaf ilayh being ma'rifah, the mudaf does not become ma'rifah. What are these rules? Now, so we say here, la yaksibul. Say, what do you say? Derive, take, acquire. So the mudaf does not take, does not acquire, does not get ta'rif, does not become ma'rifah, does not gain ta'rif, meaning ma'rifahness. So the mudaf does not become ma'rifah from the mudaf ilayh, or does not acquire being ma'rifah from the mudaf ilayh in the following scenarios. Scenario number one, إذا كان المضاف اسما متوغلا في الإبهام. توغل يتوغل توغلا, to be deeply embedded. To be deeply embedded. So if the mudaf is an isman, is a noun, متوغلا في الإبهام. أبهم يبهم إبهام means ambiguity. Ambiguity. So if the mudaf is a noun which is deeply embedded in ambiguity, if the mudaf is a noun deeply embedded in ambiguity, then in that case the mudaf will not become ma'rifah due to the mudaf ilayh being ma'rifah. Mithlu, for example, ghayr, and see, this is mudaf. This is mudaf ilayh. For example, this is an example, the words ghayr, the word siwa, and the word mithl. So these words غير السواء and مثل are extremely ambiguous. They're متوغلا في الإبهام. They are very deep rooted in ambiguity. As a result, even when these words become mudaf, so these words are nakira. And not only are they nakira, they're nakira to the highest level. The nakira and they're mutawaghilan. They're deeply embedded in ibham. Ibham is nakiranis. Fil tankir. They're deeply embedded in tankir. Meaning in being nakira, they're so nakira, being mudaf to ma'rifah does not benefit them. For example, لا نطوف ببيت غير بيت الله. Now, what happens when you have a mudaf? Let me give an example. If I said here, kitab. If I said kitabun, what did I say? I said what? Kitabun. Now, when I have kitabun, what happens now? That's nakira. But if I said kitabu Maryam, what did I say? Kitabu Maryam. Yes? So this could mean any book in the world, isn't it? This is like, this is what? Ambiguous and very mubah. It's mubaham. Correct? But when I add a mudaf ilayh, what happens to kitab? It becomes restricted in some way, doesn't it? It can't be Ahmad's kitab, it can't be Zainab's kitab, it can't be the teacher's kitab, it has to be Maryam's kitab. Correct? So this being mudaf kinds of make this mudaf ilayh helps the kitab become ma'rifah to a certain extent. Yes? You following me so far? However, in the above example, لا نطوف ببيت غير بيت الله. If you say here, غير بيت الله. So we have one house, Baytullah. So let's see if I can do my art here. This is now the Kaaba. Yes? I don't know what mark do I get for my art. Yes? Hatim around it is the Kaaba. But غير بيت الله, we just said other than the house of Allah, all the 10 billion houses in the world are still exempt. So غير simply, this means, okay, it's not this one house, but there's still what? Hundreds and thousands of millions of houses which are not included. So the amount of benefit this word غير gets from the mudaf ilayh is so minimal, the word غير does not become ma'rifah. You understand? So what we're saying here, that the words غير, the word siwa and the word mithl, they are so embedded in the ibham that even when they become mudaf, they do not become, when they become mudaf to a ma'rifah noun, the mudaf ilayh being ma'rifah does not make them ma'rifah. Understood? What's the benefit of this? The benefit of this is, bayt is what in terms of i'rab? It's nakira and it's man'ut. And this word, the word ghayr becomes a na'at. What's the rule in na'at? They have to agree in D-I-N-G, definite, indefinite, i'rab, number and gender. In theory, the word lafzul jalala is ma'rifah. Therefore, the word bayt will also become ma'rifah. And because ghayr is mudaf to a ma'rifah, then ghayr also becomes ma'rifah. So therefore, this is ma'rifah, and this is nakira, so it can't become the na'at. However, we've done that because ghayr is mutawaghilan fil ibham. Ghayr is so embedded in the ibham, even if it becomes mudaf to a ma'rifah, it still remains nakira. So this is actually still nakira. This is nakira, this is nakira. They're both nakira. So therefore it becomes man'ut and na'at. Are you following? Understood? Is this clear to everybody? So لا نطوف ببيت غير بيت الله. So baytin is nakira, and the word غير in theory should be ma'rifah because it is mudaf to a ma'rifah. But because the word غير along with siwa and mithl are so embedded in ibham, i.e. so embedded in being nakira, they don't become ma'rifah when they are mudaf to a ma'rifah. They still remain nakira. This is why you have examples here and also in the Quran. We do the Quran examples later in Kubra inshallah, but you have an example here where it's a not of a nakira word because it does not become ma'rifah. Fahim? Another example we have here is, here, same example, same theory we apply here. ما خلق الله أحدا مثل محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم. This is ma'rifah. This is mudaf to a ma'rifah. In theory, what does this become? Ma'rifah in theory. And this is what? A nakira word. This is a man'ut. And this is ma'rifah. It can't become, but this becomes a na'at. So in theory, this is nakira. and this is ma'rifah. But we say, no, it's not ma'rifah. Why? Because the word mithl, even if it becomes mudaf to a ma'rifah, still remains nakira. So you have a nakira word as a man'ud, and a nakira word as a not. So it's okay, it works. Understood? Everyone following? Yes? Okay, next example, next scenario. The second scenario, the second place, the second location where the mudaf does not become ma'rifah, even though the mudaf ilayh is ma'rifah, is here. في الإضافة اللفظية. في الإضافة اللفظية. We already done إضافة اللفظية before in mudaf ilayh, and I assume you know it, but I still go over this quickly. When you have إضافة, two types of إضافة. What are the two types of إضافة? إضافة لفظية and إضافة معنوية. Correct. إضافة معنوية is when you actually have a إضافة meaning, where the mudaf either owns, or where the mudaf إليه owns the mudaf, or it is attributed to the mudaf. You're showing إضافة. إضافة really means to link, to attribute, to associate. So إضافة معنوية, the meaning, the concept, you're actually attributing, linking, associating the mudaf إليه to the mudaf. That's called إضافة معنوية. And إضافة لفظية is where the إضافة is a structure. You use the mudaf إليه structure. There's no ownership, there's no linkage, there's no attribution. So if you have إضافة لفظية, then that means because it becomes ma'rifah. Why does the mudaf become ma'rifah when mudaf ilayh is ma'rifah? Because if I know Zayd, I will know his kitab. If I know Zayd, I will know his mother, I will know his father. It kind of shows you some kind of ta'rif, ma'rifah, recognition. But if you have a mudaf ilayh structure, where the mudaf is idafa lafdiyya, nobody knows, you're not attributing anything here. So for example, Salim al-Qalbi. Now Salim al-Qalbi doesn't mean the qalb belongs to Salim. Salim means to be salamat, to be at peace, to be good. So now, in idafa lafdiyya, the mudaf ilay does not become, the mudaf ilay is ma'rifah, the mudaf does not become ma'rifah, because this idafa doesn't show ownership. Does everybody understand why it doesn't have idafa, show ownership? So in here, this is kun mu'minan, be a believer. Salim al-qalbi. What is it? Salim al-qalbi. So, Salim is what? Sifatun mushabbahatun. Sifatun mushabbahatun bismil fa'il. And this is what? This is one of the what? This is what? An ismul amil, isn't it? Ismun, al-ismul, this is ismun amilun. This is an ismun amilun. Correct? Therefore, it will have, because we have the ismul amil and the fa'il amil, the harf amil. The ismul amil, the first type are those which have ma'na al-fa'il, and the ones that have ma'na al-fa'il, ismul fa'il, ismul maf'ul, as-sifatu mushabbahatu bi ismil fa'il. And this word becomes what? What's al-qalb becoming? This becomes what? Two aspects. This becomes the mudafun ilay in idafa lafziyya. But in terms of meaning, what does it become? The fa'il of the sifat mushabbahatun, the fa'il of the sifat mushabbahatun bismil fa'il. You can say here, kun mu'minan saliman qalbuhu. Be a believer whose heart is salim, is sound, is peaceful, is not got any hatred or hiqt or enmity. Now what happened here now? We have, you understand the structure so far? So now we have saliman is what? Mudaf. Al-qalbi is mudafun ilayh. The word, this is ma'rifah. So therefore, in theory, this should also become what? The word salima should also become what? Ma'rifah. But that does not happen. Why? Because it's idafa lafdiyya. This remains nakira. And because it's nakira, this is the man'ut. And the word saliman becomes the na'at. Because they're both nakira. The word salim does not become ma'rifah because of its mudaf ilayh being mu'arraf bil lam and having an alif lam on the word. Understood? So let's move on now to some of the i'rab. So, la natufu bi baytin ghayrillah. You would say here, bayt is the majroor, and ghayr is the na'at of bayt, majroorun bil kasra. So we make ghayr a na'at, and then bayt mudaf ilayh. And kun mu'min salim al-qalb, we say salim is na'at of the mu'min, and the shibh mushabbaha, and the qalb is a fa'il of the salim. Okay? So if you recap, we have ma'rifah, we have nakira. In ma'rifah, we have the dhamir, and then we have the alam. So let's quickly recap. Let's go over this in detail. So we have dhamir. We have dhamir marfu'. We have dhamir what? Mansoob. Then we have dhamir majroor. And then in dhamir marfu' we have what? Dhamir bariz and dhamir mustatir And Zamir Mustatir is also, Zamir Mustatir comes in the, we mentioned the sighas which Zamir Mustatir comes. And in Alam, we mentioned Laqab, and we mentioned Kunya. Correct? And then we had Dhamma has Alif Lam in the beginning, then Asma al-Ishara, we mentioned Asma al-Mawsula, and now we mentioned Mudaf ila wahid min hadhihi al-Ma'arif al-Khamsa. And next lesson is going to be Nakira, inshallah. Subhanallah wa bihamdihi, subhanakallahumma wa bihamdika, wa nashhadu an la ilaha illa anta, wa nastaghfiruka wa natubu ilayk.